Okay, so we just pre-assembled the the two brake shoes here. You see they got the two springs already aligned. So that's the bottom, that's the top. Let's put them on. Put them on that end first. That on there. That into there. And when you turn the handle, it should expand. That's how to put the brake shoes on. Okay, the next stage, you've got the front bottom Vari Speed disc. Now that doesn't move up and down, it's just stationary once you assemble it. And you can see there's actually a bearing underneath here, and that's quite common that one has gone. In this particular case I have had to replace it with a new one, which we generally do anyway. But this is the inside of where the brakes are going to stop your head spinning. So that goes on like that. But you've got to be really careful and get the orientation correct. See, the flat there must go with this, with the top spring here. Otherwise it's quite easy when you tighten up to be on top of that spring, and to basically you can crack this area here. I don't know if you can see that, you can crack there. That's where it commonly breaks. So make sure that that is aligned with the top when you put it in. Obviously you've got to turn it upside down to make sure it's aligned correctly. It should go in easily. If you have to force it, there's something wrong. Okay. Just like anything really. Don't force it, just stop. I'm just doing this to make it easier for the camera rather than easier for myself. Okay, so already you can see that that's going to go in nice and neatly there. Obviously I need to tighten it up and to check it. Make sure it's still free running as you're tightening, otherwise you've got a problem. Okay, so that's tight now. And that's running A lot smoother than it was before with that Duff bearing in there. I'll just show you the bearing that was in there. You can probably hear it's not very good. It's like it's got sand inside it. That's a new one. Nice and smooth. That's the old one. Rough, very rough. Okay, so that's a new one in there, and that's looking a lot better than it was. Okay, so the next piece that needs to be assembled, this is the bottom, the very bottom part of the Vari Speed, and there's the lower of the top housing, so that needs to go on there like that. A bit better. Needs to go on there like that. However, before you do that, you need to get the belt. Put that on. Okay, so just going to assemble these two housings now. Now, if you just notice, I've put the belt on that pulley already, just to make it easier. What I'll do is assemble this belt on here. Line the dowels up. Tease the belts back on. There we go. The spin, so just align the belt. And then you can put the screws in from the bottom, fasten the two assemblies together. So that's the screws come up from underneath in this particular assembly. Okay. Okay, this is the Vari Speed top pulley at the front top pulley. So it's got bushes inside here and the drive key there. You can see that. Let the camera focus. It's got a bearing on the top, which is running nice and smooth. So to put it on, we're just going to put that on the top of the shaft. Line it up. It should slip on nicely like that. It should be free running. You see that? Nice and free running. So that's how that goes on there. Then you got this other piece, which allows the Vari Speed to be adjusted. Now this is attached to a chain. You can see that. And when you wind this handle, it just pulls the chain down. Pulls the Vari Speed pulley down and changes the speed. So attach that. So with these two special screws, I don't know if you can see, but it's got a special little boss on there, so we don't want to lose that. Gonna need it. That one goes on there. Another one for the other side here. Okay, so I'll just tighten them up in a minute. That's how that works. So that should spin freely, and it should still move up and down. There's a circlip to go on here a bit later on. Okay, so this is the Vari disc for the rear. This one goes onto the motor. So this is the one that moves up and down. It's got the spring attached to it. Now, just got to line it up with the dog. Tease it on. It should go on. There we go. So again, it shouldn't be moving side to side, which it isn't. Now we're just going to tap that down. And we get our circlip, which is there. Once that circlip's on, it should be captive. Yep. What I'll do is I'll tighten these screws up because I can press the spring more to give me more movement in a minute when I actually come to assemble everything. Just wanted to explain how I made the spring tensioner. It's very simple. These are M5 studding. Now there are already threaded holes there, but they're not M5. But if you just put an M5 tap into them, it just threads them straight away, nice and easy. You don't need to drill another, make it bigger or anything like that. Just simply cut 2 pieces of M5 stud in. You need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 nuts, and just make it like that, and it just makes a very easy and safe spring tensioner, So to increase the tension, once they're wound in properly, just tighten them up like that. Very easy. You want to get this compressed all the way up to give you more space for when you're assembling, otherwise it's going to be the belt, you won't be able to get the belt far enough. That'll make it really awkward. So tighten this up now, tighten the tension up on the spring. So you can see there's a much bigger gap here now. So I'm going to put the belt in. We can get a lot more movement this way. If I hadn't done that, it would have been more like that, and you just can't assemble it when it's like that. So you need it more like that. Okay, so I've got the 2 assemblies sort of lying down now, facing each other like that. Okay. And this is how I assemble the 2 housings. Now, you've got to get the belt on here first, and as you push forward, you've got to push it onto that one. Then you've got to manhandle that screw into there. I don't know if you can see that. You can see into there. So this is basically the wrestling point where you've got to wrestle the two sections together. Now I find it easier to do this one first. If you get that in there first. It's tricky. Very tricky. Once you get it started, you're okay. You can use the screwdriver then. And you can see what I'm doing there. Put the screwdriver in from the other side and you can help it in. It's a lot easier. Okay, just get it so the head's coming through. Then you manhandle this on the belt on. That's the belt on. Okay, make sure the top pulley stays on. Screw together relatively easy, this one. Okay, so that's how the two assemblies go back together. Obviously we've still got to put the screws in. Let's put the long screws in here first. So we've got some shorter ones there, they go in there. And there's some bigger ones that go into there. And pulls the two pieces together. I'm going to just start them off first. So you'll have to turn it over to get it all aligned properly. Okay. To say there's one more screw round the back here. So don't forget that one, especially when you're taking the whole thing apart as well. It's very easy to think, God, it's a bit tight, but it's actually, there's another screw that you need to screw in, you know. Okay. So that's all back on now, and I'm just doing the final tightening of them all. Then I'm going to put the circlip on here and the bearing on. So the last pieces to go on are going to be this circlip, then this bearing housing here. It's already got the bearing inside. We checked it, it's a good bearing. I haven't replaced it, don't need to, it is a good bearing. circlip on. Bearing housing. Sometimes they need a bit of help with a hammer. This one doesn't. Let's line up the screw holes. So just putting the last few screws in this top housing now. Okay, that's that on. Then this nut just goes on here, which is the adjuster, the speed adjuster basically. I'll just screw that down a bit. Just for ease of fitting, you have to screw it all the way out. So when you're assembling, you just got to keep constantly moving that. So that lock, once that's down, it locks it in position. Okay. So finally, we need to remove the spring tensioner here. See the spring come out and meet the circlip. Okay. Yep. Save those for next time. Okay, then we need to put the cover back on. That's actually it. The head's now ready for testing, ready to remount on the machine and for final testing. Okay, this is the head running. As you can hear, it's really quiet, but a little common fault there, it's very easy to do, is I've got the chain round the wrong way on here, so that when you basically, it looks like the dial is going slower, but the head is actually going faster. So the way to change that is to wind it all the way to the slowest speed, take this cowl off, take the other 4 screws, so I'll just take this cowl off. Purposely left them loose for the video. And you undo these 4 screws, take the cowl off, obviously with the machine not running, turn it around the other way, put it back on, and then it'll be correct. But you've got to wind it all the way to the slowest speeds, otherwise the chain won't be long enough prior to taking that off. Okay, so I've taken the screws out now, and then you just twist it that way, put the screws back in, and wind the handle up. Simple as that, really. So now we've swapped that round, put it back on. You see, as the dial increases, the speed increases. So you hear that it's a lot quieter than before, certainly. So this is how the head should sound once it's been serviced. Nice and quiet. It's fastened on with these. There's 2 there and there's 1 round the back. There's 3 in total. 3 nuts. I'll just fire it all the way up. That's about as high as you want to go really on a Bridgeport. 3,000 is too high. 2.2 just to be kind to the machine, you know. So at 1,000 RPM, it's really nice, really quiet. Now to this slower speed there. It's all looking really good.